So, good day, Talk Funders. Today we're talking to Charlotte Elizabeth from SNE Dance. Hello, Charlotte. How are you this fine day?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you.
Charlotte, could you just maybe start by talking about the campaign or campaign that you're hosting at the moment?
Yep, so I am doing a campaign for the SEN community. So for those that don't know what the acronym stands for, it stands for Special Educational Needs, but it's more commonly known as SEN or SEN because it's quite a mouthful to keep repeating, Special Educational Needs. But essentially what I'm doing is raising money to produce dance videos for the SEN community, because right now they're really struggling. They haven't got access to the activities that they normally would, or there aren't very many SEN specific activities. So I'm producing some dance videos that they will access completely free of charge. So you might be thinking, why do we need to pledge any money? Well, I can't produce a video with nothing. So the crowdfunder is to pay for the film studio, the videographer, the editing and the marketing to make sure that they can then access the videos once it's all created.
Great. And so it's basically you'll produce the videos and then it'll be put up online somewhere for people to access. Is that correct?
Yeah, so they'll be hosted on my YouTube channel, on like a designated playlist within my channel, so that they know which videos to look for. So yeah, it'll all be hosted on YouTube completely free.
Oh, right. So it's open source and it's completely free.
Yeah.
And is there any specific age groups that you're targeting the videos towards?
Mainly age 4 to 11, but due to the nature of SEN and the activity, it will be accessible to those that aren't in that target age. So if you've got a child that's older, or even if you're a SEN adult, you'd still be able to benefit from the content of the videos.
And obviously you're doing, part of the funding is for professional video editing, etc., recording of the videos.
Yeah, so it will be filmed and edited by professional videographers and editors. As much as I can do it myself, someone else can do it a lot quicker and a lot better than I can. So yeah, paying someone else that does it as a living.
And is there do you think there'll be a big demand for these type of videos, Charlotte?
Yeah, so throughout all of the marketing that I've done, particularly over on Twitter, the SEN community are so thankful that I'm doing this. They're really looking forward to doing it. They've kind of got behind me, and every time I tweet, they're sharing it, liking it. A few of them have pledged themselves. So yeah, it's definitely much needed, particularly with the current situation that's going on.
And is that one of your main contact points is Twitter? Is that where your main community is, or is it on other social media platforms?
It's where I seem to have the biggest following in terms of SEN, but I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. But yeah, predominantly Twitter is where I seem to have the biggest following for SEN, but I'm across all the other platforms as well.
Okay, and I'll make sure I put those links in the video description below. And Charlotte, can you just give us some of your own personal background, how you got into SEN dance?
Yep, so I've been dancing all my life, as they say, since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Went and did my dance degree, danced out in South Africa for a month or so, came back and did my teacher training, and it was on my teacher training that I was doing a lot of work with SEN students, and it was highlighted that it was an area I seemed to excel in. So then when I went self-employed in 2016, it was something I kind of always brought into my work of being an inclusive teacher. So regardless of your needs or ability, you're welcome along. It's not like there's no judgment. There's kind of everyone's welcomed. In fact, at one point I had a deaf student in my class, so that was an interesting time of having to learn sign language to be able to communicate with them, and again the other students were learning at the same time. And then in my local area, a parent was asking about dance classes for her kids, but they are SEN, and she's like, I haven't managed to find anything. And I said, look, I've been wanting to do something. Let's pull our heads together and let's get something started. And so that's how I got into it a lot more. And then obviously COVID hit, and it got me thinking, right, how can I help when they're unable to access their normal activities right now?
Wow, so you actually set it up pre-COVID in a sort of bricks and mortar sort of normal environment, and that was in Kidderminster, is it?
Yeah, so that was based in a little town in Worcester. But yeah, so it was a weekly class that was running, and then obviously COVID hit, and for various reasons we didn't go online. So it got me thinking, right, how can I still help that community? in the best way possible. So decided that pre-recorded videos would be one of the better options.
That's fantastic. I think it's really exciting project, Charlotte. Is there, and what, in terms of the actual campaign, what crowdfunding platform is it on?
It's on Crowdfunder itself.
And was there any reason why you chose Crowdfunder over any of the other ones?
A friend of mine had also used Crowdfunder for their crowdfunding campaign. And when I was looking at it, it was one of the better platforms, particularly in terms of the fees that I have to pay for using the platform, that it wasn't going to cost me to use the platform, very minimal fees when I take my money at the end. So yeah, it was just one of the better platforms out there for this sort of project.
So that means, by the sounds of it, the vast majority of any funds donated will be going to the project to really help the SNE community get their online dancing.
Yeah, definitely. So I will receive pretty much all of the money that's there, bar like a small percentage, whereas on other platforms I looked that I would be losing quite a chunk of money because of platform fees or their percentage fees, whereas on Crowdfunder, the percentage fees are fairly minimal.
Well, it really sounds like a really great project, Charlotte. You already have great engagement from the SNE community, who really are, gasping, or maybe we can talk a little bit more about the community. I mean, it's nearly a year now since we've been in this, let's call it a situation. I mean, I suppose they need an outlet for all their creative energy, and you are providing them an online outlet for their creative energy as they are basically sheltering at the moment.
Yes, a lot of the conversations that I've had with the SEN community was that kind of pre-COVID, they'd tried activities that were advertised as inclusive, so they went along, and either the person running the activity didn't actually understand how to include them in the activities, or the other kids didn't understand why they were acting the way they were, so would like eye roll at them and just disengage with them. So obviously they then didn't continue that activity, so they've not been doing anything. There's also a lot of parents that they don't have an official statement for their child. They know that they are a special educational needs child, but they haven't got the official statement, so then they haven't got any support in place. So kind of right now they're pulling their hair out because their routine is completely out of the window. They're either at school or not at school, or constantly chopping and changing. That, yeah, this will be a welcome relief that they can access at their time and leisure, do as much of it or as little of it as they want. But yeah, it'll definitely be a welcome relief to allow them to express themselves in a world that's confusing for them at the best of times, let alone at the moment with the constant changes that they're having to go through.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think it really is fantastic that you're going to put it up on YouTube as open source, free for everybody to engage, not only across the whole of the UK and Ireland, but let's face it, globally. So well done, Charlotte. I think it's a massive cause you're making. Okay, is there anything else you'd like to say to the top funders?
No, just pledge if you can. The crowdfunder ends on the 28th of Feb. And if you can't pledge for whatever reason, share it, because you never know who it may reach that is able to pledge and help get these much needed videos out there.
Well, thank you very much, Charlotte. Thank you so much. Goodbye.